Alrighty guys, welcome to today's video, and today, like the title states, we're going to be cutting a big hole into the 350Z. So let's get into today's video. Alright guys, and now that the intro is out of the way, I first want to start off today's video by thanking someone that donated to our channel, that went through our PayPal account and sent me some cash. The person is another YouTuber, which is DVA Creations. I'm going to leave his link somewhere up on here because I can't remember what side it goes to, but I'm going to leave his link up there. Make sure to check out his channel. He has some great 4Valve content, and I know I said I would be dancing for you guys, but yeah, I'm gonna skip this one. I greatly appreciate anyone that donates to this channel, and it does help a tremendous amount for progressing what we do here and what we represent by building our own cars and struggling with low budget builds and stuff like that. So it's greatly appreciated when other people take the time out to send me cash, and it's just to progress what I do here on the channel and to allow me to chase my vision, my goals, and my dreams much further, and I greatly appreciate it. So let's move on to what we actually have to do today on the vehicle. First of all, my driver's door is not opening from the inside or the outside, so I gotta figure out how the hell I'm gonna get that thing open. Then I have to completely remove the dashboard out of the vehicle so that we can cut the firewall and the trans tunnel to see how well or how much of that we have to cut away before the 4Valve motor could actually sit in there perfectly. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so I got the soft part, the plastic part of the dash out. It's pretty much just that metal frame, something like just how the Mustang was, and then a bunch of plastic pieces in the back here, what I took off of this. So what I'm actually going to do now is try to remove this entire metal frame that sits onto the firewall. Drop everything, like pull everything away from this, because I'm going to be cutting that center section and most likely removing that AC thing for good. Definitely not looking for any creature comforts in this car. This is solely just to beat on and abuse as a drift car. So I'm going to get to pulling this thing out, and once this is out, I'll show it to you guys, and then I'll show you like the outline of where I'm going to be cutting to make room for that big dual overhead cam 4.6. We got the steering wheel out, we got a plastic part of the dash out, the metal part of the dash out, which was a pain because it's probably the first time it's ever been out, but I'm going to take all that AC stuff off. That's not going to go back in, obviously. Now we have a fresh canvas that when we start cutting it, nothing will tear up or no wires will get cut. The wire harness is still fully intact. I do plan on running this car's internal harness. I want to get like windows working and stuff like that, stuff that I don't have to like deal with on a regular basis. I do want like I said, the windows, radio, stuff like that. So I'm going to leave the internal harness in. We're going to cut the firewall, and my plan is to cut this and remove the piece as clean as possible so that I believe it's aluminum. I believe this is aluminum, so I can't weld this myself. So whoever I get to come in and weld it and put on extra aluminum, because what we're going to do is pretty much raise the firewall and cut what we need to cut away. And when we get the motor in and seated, we're going to have to install our own firewall. So pretty much we're going to have to get some aluminum plate or reuse this with some extra pieces of aluminum and weld back in a custom firewall and trans tunnel so that the 4Valve swap could fit extremely nicely inside the car. All right, so we pretty much have the hole cut out in it, and that's the marks that we made when we first test fitted the motor. So I'm gonna get the car pushed into the bay, and then we're gonna test fit the motor. All right, so we just put the motor in and we still bucking on that trans tunnel and a little piece here. So I'm gonna clean this up here and try to get this as close to this piece as possible. I don't want to cut this section out because this is actually where the boot for the steering shaft goes. But yeah, a piece of this trans tunnel has to be cut out and a little more of the firewall, and then we should be able to put this in without it touching. So after pretty much cutting away the entire firewall and a piece of the trans tunnel, I finally have the motor inside the car and it freaking fits. So I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna show you guys exactly where it sits now. I'm actually gonna cut away a little bit more of the firewall and clearance off because the driver side of the exhaust manifold is still touching the firewall a bit. I'm gonna cut that piece. Then I'm gonna push it further in for the final, like, you know, fit for the final piece. And it seems like making some motor mounts for this thing is going to be pretty easy. So I'm going to show you guys how the engine's sitting right now and where the shifter would sit, and then tell you guys exactly what I'm going to do. And there it is. The oil pan finally clears the power steering rack and the what you call that thing, the subframe. I think that's what you call it. And as you can see there, finally clears, and it sits pretty close. This is where the stock mount would go. And this here is now, hold on, I don't know why this thing's moving, but yeah, this is where the Mustang mount would go. And yeah, so I make a plate from here to there and we should be good. Same thing on this side, we have a lot of clearance, steering shaft still is gonna fit, so really lucked out and got a lot of clearance on both sides. The motor still isn't sitting as flush as it should. That's just because of how we have it hooked up on the strap, but definitely we're gonna have to cut this again because the shifter is still sitting like the back of the shifter is sitting like right here, so we're gonna have to cut a hole here for the shifter itself, which is fine because I could just close this one up and seal it up. That is how the motor is sitting inside the car now. Yes, we're gonna be making a new firewall that fits this motor. We're gonna be making it out of some aluminum and probably gonna riv nut it in or something like that, but it's finally sitting in the car, and this is most likely, it's going to come back a little bit more. You can see where it's touching on this side, but this is pretty much how it's going to sit once we have the mounts made and we have the trans mount up in the car as well. All right guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. That's all I have for you guys. We finally got the motor and the trans sitting in the vehicle perfectly. We have more than enough room. Probably in the next few videos we're gonna get the motor mounts made and the trans mount fabricated somehow, but it's looking really good. The placement of the motor was definitely the biggest hurdle with this swap. Once I could get it bolted up in the vehicle, it's gonna be 10 times easier. Wiring is still a challenge, but fueling is gonna be pretty easy. ECU pretty easy. We already have stock ECU and wiring and stuff like that, so I am super excited for this swap, and I'm definitely much further ahead than the BST Ford channel. So you guys need to go to his channel and get in his comment section and kick him in the high gear and ask him, you know, when is his 4-valve swaps gonna finally be on the channel? So we're gonna continue pushing this thing, where I'm definitely much further ahead, even though my swap was 10 times harder to do. But thank you guys so much for watching today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, guys. Hit that like button if you guys like content like this. Make sure to put a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the swap. Always remember, don't drift without your dreams, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.